Hey Gemini, I hope you're doing well. Welcome in. We're going to do your October forecast. If you're new here, all the info you need to know is listed down below. Now, I will say, Gemini, in your meditated energy, I kept hearing the song by Imagine Dragons, Believer, over and over again. And I didn't know why. And then after I did your spread, I was like, this makes complete sense. Okay. So I can't tell yet because we haven't clarified if someone had went through a really hard awakening process and is coming out of the other side, or if someone is finally awakening. Also, the numbers to point out here, 28 on the 28th is clarified by card 28. So that's a really good sync right there. And then also August 12th is sticking out really heavy, or 12/12. And if you do keep a journal, go back to August 28th and look at that period of time, that date, that week. There's something to it there. It's a really cool story overall because, as you can see, it started on the 1st of the month and it ends on the 28th. Most of the other signs I've done so far have had like consecutive weeks, and you only have 2 consecutive days. So I feel like this is kind of triggered by the full moon yesterday and will go all the way through the full moon in October. So the overall energy for the month is Garden of Venus, Rest and Renewal with Covenant, Sacred Contract. So it does feel like something, a situation or person faded in your life. There's going to be healing around that. It's a really cool story. So let's get started. All right, on the first, we've got Joyful Muse, Inspiration. It's card number 33. So that's what like kind of sparks you. And that's what leads to this like, kind of awakening energy here. Because on the second, we've got Root Girl, the Disowned Self, and Surrender. Going into the 8th, Skywriting the Fates. On the 12th, we've got Fallen Angel, Spiritual Narcolepsy, Ancestral Wisdom, Limitless Possibility, and Meditation and Deep Stillness. So coming up to this point, it's almost like either someone realized that someone was brought into their life to like spark them, to awaken them and bring them back to life, and they surrendered to that. And they also realized, like with the spiritual narcolepsy, ancestral wisdom, and meditation, that's very much like someone going through the motions or in a situation where they kind of given up on life in a way. Not that they were depressed or anything like that, but you know how you kind of turn into a zombie and you're just like, okay, this is how it is. This person's realizing that this situation, this soul contract woke them up, and that the sky's the limit, basically. And the cool thing about that, on the 28th, we've got Hollow Bone, Teachability, and Fortune's Wheel, Luck and Right Timing, number 23. So it's almost like when that lesson is learned, the wheel turns. So overall, it's freaking phenomenal, Gemini. So let's get started clarifying here. What's going on with this Joyful Muse on the first? I also apologize for my voice today, guys. I've got allergies, and I know I sound like a congested frog. All right, we've got the Page of Pentacles, King of Swords, and the Wheel of Fortune. So beginning and ending with the Wheel of Fortune. So I do feel like that was like the full moon activation, or the activation of this relationship, and like this moment of truth and clarity. It's almost like the first meeting with that King of Swords. That sword almost sparked like a moment of truth within somebody. Yep. Focus on self. So it definitely caused somebody to kind of go within, heal. All right. Tap dancer, avoiding important matters, tap dancing around discussions regarding emotional issues or feelings in the mind. Someone is not speaking their inner truth. So what I'm gathering from this, I had 2 thoughts kind of come in, and then I let them kind of slide to the wayside, so I apologize for that. It's kind of like somebody in the past had probably never felt this deep of love. They had looked at love logically, from a King of Swords standpoint, and then this was brought into their life and inspired them. They still have all this underlying truth that they need to kind of bring to the surface here. Let's get this deck out. See if this is going to happen, or if this happened in the past already. Because for some of you, I feel like this is going to be a moment of truth about that moment of inspiration, all tied up, man holding a heart. So that's like the King of Cups. So he's can't speak how much this changed his life. Man or female. It's just a man on the card, and I'm trying to separate the energy here. So let's see about the second, the root girl, the disowned self. I feel like that on the first is going to be a realization on that King of Swords part. It could be an air sign, Aquarius, Libra, Gemini, but it doesn't have to be. It's just somebody that's not very good with speaking their emotions or even dealing with vulnerability. All right, so we've got the Five of Cups, Ten of Pentacles, and the Three of Cups. So yeah, somebody is looking back, realizing, hey, I even might have knocked that cup over myself, you know, because she kicked that one over to move on, to surrender. Ten of Pentacles, that's like having it all, your foundation, everything, and the Three of Cups. So whatever it is that someone had went through previously, it brought them down to the core. It's like rock bottom. And they finally just surrendered to that and just said, okay, you know, I've got to move forward. I've got to heal. And this person came into their life and kind of sparked them back alive. And I think that they're surrendering to the fact that, what are they surrendering to? Because these people are not together. King of Pentacles, Seven of Swords, and the Page of Wands. That there was definitely a betrayal. There could have been a third party situation, or someone could have just walked away, ghosted, self-sabotage. Earth energy there. But I feel like it's more this person that went through this root girl, felt like this King of Pentacles was solid. Thought that they were going to start everything out like it was a passionate new beginning, and it, for whatever reason, didn't happen. So I bet after it woke her up, it like brought her back down again, and she's surrendering to that. I got spirit chills on that one, so I feel pretty confident about it. Let's see what they have to add. Yeah. Deep knowing, inner wisdom, time is running out. Peonies, patience, ancestral help, and assistance. So I think that they felt like the time had passed. They knew deep down what this person meant to them, probably through the help of their guides. They'd had a lot of patience in that area. There's two references to ancestors here. And then finally just said, I've got to let it go. I learned my lesson. And when somebody comes into your life to awaken you, that is truly a gift. And I know that in the middle of the heartbreak, when you're at that root girl status, it doesn't feel like that. But I promise you, after like you get through the hard part, you look back at it and you're like, wow, that's actually an exceptional bond, an exceptional gift somebody can give to you. Oh, there's a tower, storm warning, and third chakra, Archangel Shamuel. That's card 37, which also breaks down to a 10. So that's 10-10, closing out of this. I do want to get a clarifier, though, on this tower. Let me get a different deck for that. What is this tower? That tower, I think, is that moment of truth and clarity. Page of Cups. Six of Cups. Oh. Judgment. Oh, my goodness. Guys, so that's like, that's a reaching out there. And we've got another Five of Cups and another Wheel of Fortune. So I do feel like that message has come through. And it's right whenever that other person surrenders, which, you know, we talk about that all the time. Energetically, that's what's meant to happen. But this seems like it's on a universal level, like divinely guided, definitely with all of this Wheel of Fortune, and triggered by the moon. I mean, the moon just feels very strong to me. This last round of the moon. What about skywriting the fates? Oh, Three of Swords. See, that guy is like just screaming, you know, and he's got all these red strings, the red cord of fate, you know, just entangled all over his existence. Everything around him is gray, you know. And the Seven of Wands. Somebody had been very guarded because of either past heartbreak or this did a number on them. And that might have been hard, like, one of the harder lessons for them to learn to surrender to, is because it felt fated. It felt like it would come back. There's Judgment again. Yeah. Yep. That's definitely what it was. It felt fated, felt like it was meant to come back. And when it didn't happen, Two of Cups, look at that. They went into this like guarded, protective energy. And I think the fated part of it is what kind of held them up. Because when you know something's going to happen and it doesn't, you know, energetically, you have all of this feeling of anticipation. And I don't know, sometimes you don't make decisions in your own life because you're like, I don't want to go down that path. So on the 8th, that's either going to come to the forefront or that's going to come back around. Yeah, water. It goes so well with all these blue emotional cards here. Thirsty for change, drowning in emotion. So this was a fated lesson, a fated spiritual lesson that someone learned the hard way. And then footsteps, walking away, moving on, follow the leader. So definite surrender. And in that surrender, the other person wakes up and surrenders too. It's just a different kind of surrender. Overall for the 8th, whoops, I didn't like the way this fell out. That was the King of Pentacles and the King of Swords again, guys. That could be very much incorporating like their logical thought into a solid foundation. Because the King of Pentacles has a lot of love in there. He usually shows it more through action. He's not as verbal. And maybe they wanted me to keep those. The Garden and the Gate, number 30. So look at this. Yeah, you've got 2 healing cards here. And the 30th seems significant. It seems like it should almost be like here. The wheel turns towards healing. Someone just has to make that first step of surrender. And maybe this spiritual narcolepsy and ancestral on the 12th is their person. So let's see. What happens with this on the 12th? There's the Tower. Yep. Queen of Wands. And the 8 of Wands. So that's definite communication. Could be through, you know, spirit guides or something like that with all the ancestral cards here. 9 of Cups, wish fulfillment. I'm going to get a clarifier on that Queen of Wands because I feel that's sparking that root girl back to life somehow. Oh, Lovers at the bottom of the deck. 7 of Pentacles, 4 of Swords. Let's see. I'm going to cut the deck again. Why is this Queen of Wands here? 2 of Pentacles. Just back and forth. And I think it was, I'm getting just a real good self-healing vibe. Like she found her groove again, or took back her power, or finally is seeing it. In this period of deep meditation and stillness, everything makes sense. What else can you say about the Tower? We'll get some of these Lenormand cards. Sirens. Pay attention, be aware. Yeah, that's whenever they go within and they get pinged by their guides. They get downloads. It just took that moment of not thinking about it. And they, whatever it was, they realized where their passion lies. Or someone did, if not you. Because the fire extinguisher is like dying passions, roommate dynamic with the rock star, which is something undiscovered or hidden. And it's like brought to light. So it feels like almost like if you thought that this love had died or the passion between you had died. No, it's like instantly back to life here. This has been like a really good, I think the rest of the quarter here, the rest of the year is going to be really good for a lot of these soul contracts. Hostilities. Ooh. Door to Spirit. They had been resistant to this for so long, and now it's like they can't. See, I mean, that dove just opens the door. And for some of you, you know, you might not want this person back. I feel that you would. I don't see any negative energy here. There's nothing deceptive. I mean, the worst we saw was like the 7 of Swords, which is, I mean, things could have just gone awry. Could be a new vibe for others of you too. You move on and in comes this new, person, this destined soul contract. What about the 28th? Excuse me. Teachability and luck and right timing. 5 of Wands tried to come out again. Knight of Cups. So definitely lessons in love, what you want from love, what you expect. Oh, is that the wheel? Yes, remember what I said, like that lesson is learned so the wheel could turn? Absolutely. That's exactly what it is. Look at this, the World, Knight of Wands. 2 knights here. Lesson learned, cycle closes out, incoming. Could be a fire and water sign, doesn't have to be. I'm going to get 2 more on that because I feel like there's something else here. For a lot of you, 4 of Wands. Yep. Definitely a deep soul connection with another 4 of Swords, healing. Everything. I was going to say, this relationship was not only sent to wake you up, but to also heal everything that was within. Not just what went down here, but childhood stuff, things that we're programmed with from when we're younger. That first heartbreak that did a number on you, and we carry that baggage into other relationships. So much lessons and healing learned here. If this is your story, I'm super proud of you, Gemini, because you've gone through it. I mean, you've gone through it and you came out the other side, or you're about to. So if you feel like you haven't gotten there yet, don't worry. And give yourself some grace. It's not an overnight process. It's definitely not easy. Anybody that's been through it can attest to that, But look at this. Like, there's an undying loyalty here. And see, remember what I said? Holding on to past events and relationships and being afraid of change, stalemate, stuck energy. That's all the stuff that's going, or that had been holding it up before. Yeah, and there had been some resistance, but now time is up. It's like the clock's, it says unawakened, but now it's ding, ding, ding. This wheel turns. And in the past, somebody had been fighting the current and just needed to go with the flow. So that's the advice now, like go with the flow, let this wheel turn. There was something I was going to add to that. It's kind of hard too, going with the flow, taking that leap of faith, because you're always worried. What if I take that leap of faith and then I regret my decision? I want to turn around and swim back to shore. And no, all you have to do is just jump in and then just go with the flow from there. And that's the hardest part, trust me. I've always taken leaps of faith, and I always belly flop. The universe spits me back out where I need to be eventually. All right, so the overall advice here is injustice or unfairness that's going to be righted. Be true to yourself. Go with the flow. See? Accept what you cannot change and release control. And I think that's what happened when that surrender card happened. Not for you. This person or situation is not for your highest good. So I believe that that's like releasing all the past. And for some of you, yeah, you're not going to necessarily want this back. Maybe you've settled with another soulmate, or you just want to be by yourself or move on. That's fine. And also, what they really mean by this is coming in, sitting in the energy of this root girl, and the brokenheartedness was not for your highest good. And this situation caused you, I think, to be true to yourself. It might have caused a tower in your life that made it where it cleared the decks and sent you on your correct path, Take it out, it resonates. Collective reading. I forgot to get one of these for the 28th, and then we're going to wrap it up. Community. That's been coming up like crazy. That's the collective. That's also like a 3 of Cups energy, bringing everything back together. Well, that's awesome, Gemini. If this resonated and is your story, please like, comment, subscribe. Would love to have you here. And I'll be back soon. Love and light. Take care.